Hi, I'm Brett Matulis, the Communities Program Director at Eco America. The Climate Ambassador Program educates and empowers people to talk about and take action on climate solutions in their local communities. You can find an ambassador in your area at pathtopositive.org. And if you want to learn to speak and advocate confidently about climate change, you can join the growing Climate Ambassador community. Doing so will give you access to customizable resources like this presentation. The presentation that I'm about to begin is a short example of one that an ambassador might give, and it's an overview of the information provided in the full ambassador training. Let's get started. Hello, my name's Brett Matulis, and I'm a P2P climate ambassador. Thanks for joining me. My goal today is to make the community and climate connection and to inspire you to take action in your home, workplace, and community. It's also my invitation to join me in calling for climate solutions. I'll get started with a brief overview of where we currently stand with climate change. In the US, the biggest sources of carbon pollution are transportation, electricity production, and industry. Industries like those that burn fossil fuels to make things like steel, aluminum, and concrete. Globally, agriculture is also a major source of emissions. The primary impact of our carbon pollution is that the Earth is getting hotter. This animation from NASA illustrates how our planet has warmed since 1880, around the time that we started burning fossil fuels at scale. It warms slowly at first, but as we burn more and more, the pollution increases and it warms much more rapidly, especially over the past couple decades. The past 9 years have been the hottest in millennia. And the warming climate is causing more extreme and costly weather disasters. The annual average of billion-dollar climate disasters is now 17.8 per year. We're witnessing and experiencing the impacts of climate change in our communities already. In some places, this looks like drought. In others, it looks like flood. In the West, there's more frequent fires, and severe storms are even making some communities question where they'll be able to live. For me, here in Washington, D.C., extreme heat is becoming a serious concern, especially in areas that have been the historical target of disinvestment. We've felt the impact of unhealthy air from forest fires hundreds of miles away, and severe storms are bringing wind and rainfall that the city's sewers were never designed to handle. Sea level rise is also inundating some of the nation's monuments. And perhaps the biggest nuisance for anyone trying to enjoy the outdoors, disease-carrying mosquitoes are on the rise. Americans all over the country are noticing the impacts of climate change, and most are concerned. 75% of Americans say they're somewhat or very concerned about climate change, but they don't realize how concerned others are around them. While 45% say they're very concerned, only 14% think that others feel the same way. That's why I'm here, to let you know that you are not alone in your concern. Americans across political affiliation, age, and gender agree that we have a moral responsibility to care for the climate. It can be helpful to categorize the effects of climate change into 3 major areas of impact: the built environment, the natural environment, and human well-being. Importantly, though, these areas of impact often overlap and also exacerbate the inequities that already exist. When we say built environment, we're talking about the systems and infrastructure we rely on in our cities and towns. Human well-being concerns the ways that our bodies, minds, and livelihoods are impacted by the changing climate. And natural impacts are related to our air, land, water, plants, and animals. Climate change impacts us all. However, low-income communities, communities of color, children, the elderly, and those with limited language proficiency are some of the most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Communities who've contributed the least to the problem are being impacted first and worst. Climate change exacerbates existing inequities like racism. Therefore, it's also an issue of justice, and we need to respond with that in mind. Now for the good news. Climate solutions. The solution is pretty straightforward. We need to stop burning fossil fuels for energy, electrify everything, get our electricity from clean sources like wind and solar, and use our energy much more efficiently. Clean energy also costs much less. It's healthier for us and the environment, and it can be more equitable. The good news is that we know how to address climate change, and we have all the technology that we need to do it already. These actions are also healing the earth and helping to protect our communities. We need these solutions at scale to create safe, thriving communities here in DC and for communities across the country and around the world. While we know we need action at the system, policy, and institutional levels, there are actions that we can take directly. We can do this in our homes, in our workplaces, and in our broader communities. You can advocate in your local town or city council. Ask your representatives to support initiatives like clean community transportation. Electric buses, for example, would mean cleaner, healthier air to breathe and less carbon pollution. Safe infrastructure for bikes, walking, and scooters could reduce reliance on cars, and more widely available chargers would help people take the leap into full electrification. Other local initiatives like cool roofs and cool streets can help control extreme urban heat. Painting surfaces with light colors reflects the sun's rays and reduces surface temperatures to safer levels. Finally, don't forget to vote. Never skip an election, and make sure your neighbors don't either. Make sure your local candidates know that you care about climate change and that they can earn your vote by committing to supporting local climate solutions. When we work together as a community, we can and will succeed. We can implement these solutions in our personal lives and in our workplaces and spread the word in our broader communities. I'm inviting you to join me in leading on climate solutions. One first step is to start the P2P Climate Ambassador training. It's available to you online and on demand and will provide you with the information and resources you need to lead on climate. Thank you for joining me. Local community members are the perfect people to lead on climate. We need everyone, every day.